Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Moving the Chains here on Team NBS Media. My name is Ashmir Prasad. And if you're new here, thank you for joining us. We have made it to the end of the NFL regular season. I have no idea how time has passed so quickly. And of course, I'm here with my usual guys, Jeff and Joe, but we've got Dan here. I'm sure you've seen him on Christy Love's show, just having a vent session about the Bears season. So thanks for joining us, Dan.
Yeah, I appreciate being here. I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to this whole thing.
Yeah, you get to talk a little bit more fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It does not feel so sad. I mean, I'd be throwing blows at the Raiders all the time. So you just got to do what you got to do.
Teams in shambles, man. It's crazy.
All right, first we're going to go through our game one, which is the Chiefs and the Broncos game. So I think this game, of course, to me, I'm very happy to see the Chiefs lose, but there will be no Patrick Mahomes. There will be no Travis Kelce. There will be no Pacheco. You know, it's like the rest game, of course, for everyone, which is in the Broncos' favor. I think this is like a big game for them. If they win, they're in. It's a big matchup. We're going to be excited for Denver fans, I guess, because if you're rooting for Bo Nix and his rookie season, I think that's the best way to kick it off. So I first off want to ask you guys about how you think Bo Nix has performed this season. I mean, people did not expect him to do well and to start, and now I think he's turned everybody's heads the other way. So let's start with Dan here. What are your thoughts on Bo Nix?
Man, I think Bo Nix has been really a pleasant surprise for those in Bronco country, of course. He came in and he was like the one guy that really wasn't talked about as much as some of the other quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, you know, even Drake May to a certain degree. But he's come in and he's really, done everything they've asked him to do. Really put his team in a position to win. They've been successful. He's played above and beyond anybody's expectations, in my opinion. I got to give him credit. You know what I mean? And no matter how much I don't like Sean Payton, and I think he's overrated as a coach, it seems like he's got this guy doing the right thing, and they're on the right road to trying to be successful and developing a young quarterback, something that my Bears are struggling to do right now. So
it's okay. This is a safe space. Before we go into the next answer, I just want to show how Bo Nix has performed in his rookie season. I think he has pretty much won as many things as he could throughout this year. Many offensive rookie awards. I mean, rookie of the week twice. Just first one for Broncos QB to throw 300 yards and 4 touchdowns since 2016. Like, clearly he's doing all the things right for the franchise and for himself. And I mean, as an Oregon Duck girly, obviously I'm going to give him his flowers, especially after that terrible Rose Bowl game we just watched. All right, anyway. Joe, what about you? What are your thoughts on Bo Nix?
Yeah, I think that what Dan says is absolutely right. He's definitely exceeded my expectations. I thought he would get a couple starts here or there. We'd see some bright moments, but it'd be a lot of, interceptions, turnovers, typical NFL rookie quarterback stuff. And it's been a whole lot more of jaw-dropping pass plays. And that pass to Mims last week against the Bengals was awesome. The touch, the awareness. I think if I'm a Broncos fan, I'm very excited about what the future holds, because obviously that team's still missing a few pieces. But I think you can say with confidence the one piece they're not missing is quarterback. I think with Bo Nix, they might have got their franchise guy. And again, too, with the offseason with Sean Payton, working on his game, getting more comfortable with the offense. I think the sky's the limit for this kid, but I've been very impressed. He's given Jaden Daniels, who I still think is Offensive Rookie of the Year, a run for his money, though, in that contest.
This is turning into like the favorites show. We're all like, wait, we have to spotlight our own team first, but Jeff won't be doing that. But anyway, Jeff, let's hear your closing thoughts on Bo Nix.
Well, listen, he's exceeded expectations. You didn't expect him to come into the league and immediately come out there and have instant success. He started off pretty solid in the beginning, and he's really picked it up as he's gone along. So kudos to him. We saw the same thing out of C.J. Stroud last year when he came in as a rookie and lit the world on fire. The question is, can he sustain the success? So far, if he comes out and gets it done today, he'll do something that no rookie has done, which is lead your team to the playoffs. So he'll be the first to do that. Question is, will it last for more than 1 year? I think they should enjoy what they've gotten. I think they've seen what they have. They like what they're seeing. They know they've got to build more in order to win consistently. So I think they got to look at this year and say, okay, we proved that he can handle the load, but we don't want to make him the focal point of this team. We want to make sure we're building talent around him to kind of alleviate the pressure. You don't want him to have a sophomore slump like we're seeing with certain other quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point, because CJ Stroud still wins the division, but completely different outlook from last year to this year. All right, so when you're in a matchup like this, which I stated when we started the show, no Patrick Mahomes, no Travis Kelce, no Pacheco, just like obviously the stars are missing. So when you go into this matchup, I'm going to run it back to Jeff here. What are the Broncos saying in the locker room? Like, how are you going through knowing that, I mean, you could still get a W or you might not. The defense is still there. But what does that sound like to them?
It's called just win. Control what you can control. Your main focus right now is win and get into the playoffs. Whether people believed you were going to be there, whether you believed you were going to be there, you're in that position now. Go out there and make it happen. The worst thing you can do is go out there and have everything in front of you and blow it. No matter what the Chiefs are doing, doesn't matter who they're running out there, whether they're running out there Mahomes or not, whether they're running Jesus out there or not at quarterback, doesn't matter. You go out there and you make sure you win this game and get to the playoffs. Any chance you have of making the postseason, you go out there and do it. You don't squander those opportunities. You're not guaranteed to play forever, and you may not get that chance again. We've seen guys go out there, have early success, and fall off. Carson Wentz. So, speaking of which, probably going to be starting today for Kansas City. So, if that's a cautionary tale, go out there and get it now.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because no one expected Denver to be this elite. And Greg said in the comments here that the defense has played phenomenally. So going into a Chiefs team, maybe you just want to win for the record. But when you're the Broncos defense here, what have you liked so far from how they've been, Dan?
Well, I think the Broncos defense has always been good. You got Patrick Surtain on one side. You got Riley Moss, he's played really good as well on the other side. He gets picked on a little bit more, of course, because you're playing opposite Patrick Surtain, but it is what it is. The defense is going to keep them in games. They got to stay focused. They got to stay driven. In this game that they're going into against Kansas City, like Jeff said, win at all costs, man. Get into the playoffs. I harken back to Chicago, right? And I remember one year where the Bears were doing really good. They let Green Bay in the playoffs one time, right? Last game of the season, they let them in the playoffs. They end up losing to Green Bay in the NFC Championship game where Jay Cutler got hurt that year. So, you know what I mean? Anything can happen when you let a team into the playoffs. You don't want to do that. And Kansas City is doing this. They're a rival. I'm surprised at it because, like I said, I like to stomp on my rivals and things like that. So, in my opinion, Denver should take full advantage of what Kansas City is doing. If they're going to roll out their backups and things like that, you beat who you're supposed to beat. You wear them out. You do it the right way. You get you some momentum going into the playoffs, and you never know what can happen, man.
Yeah, we love a good home win, of course. So I'll give you the Chiefs, Joe. Obviously, they've had an amazing season. And they've just completely taken over as per usual. So for the Chiefs, what are you looking for without all these all-stars? What's one of your highlights of the Chiefs? And can't use Patrick Mahomes.
Of course not. That's too easy. That's low-hanging fruit. No, I would say if I'm a member of the Chiefs, I mean, this is a chance for you to earn some playing time. They're getting ready to go into money time, a.k.a. the playoffs. If you're a second string or even a third string guy and you want to show them that, hey, in critical moments you can depend on me, this is a game to make a name for yourself. I mean, heaven forbid your franchise quarterback goes down in the playoffs. He's been banged up and injured in the playoff games before, and they don't have Chad Henne, former Michigan Wolverine, to help them out. You now have Carson Wentz, who hasn't been on a football field, I feel like, in centuries. I think we were still using flip-phones the last time Carson Wentz was a name we talked about in the NFL. So you have to show the coaching staff or show your teammates that I'm somebody you can depend on, and I'm somebody that can go in there and make some plays as well. So I think that the second stringers and backups of the Chiefs have a lot to prove.
Yeah. That's a very good point. It's like what Jeff said last week with the Raiders when we were talking about that. You're going in there, you still got a job to do. Now we're going to hand the reins over to Jeff for his favorite segment I think we've added to the show. So please, Jeff, take it away.
All right. Time for a little bit of team chatter. Well, the past few weeks, we introduced Club I'ma Head Out. And it seems the club just seems to keep growing the last couple of weeks. Well, adding to the club this week, making it get a nice, comfortable seat on the couch there at the club, getting comfortable, Ezekiel Elliott. That's right. Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys have mutually parted ways. He wants to be on a contender. Funny part is, in order to be on a contender, they actually have to want you. When you get beat out by Rico Dowdle, you can barely get a carry. That's usually not a sign that somebody's going to want you playoff time. So we add Zeke Elliott to club I'ma Head Out because basically that's what he did to the Dallas Cowboys. He had a chance to get some carries today and end his season on a decent note. And I don't blame him for not being happy in that situation. But you got to kind of beat out the guy that was undrafted if you're Ezekiel Elliott, and you didn't do it. So it ain't them, it's you, Zeke. Sorry, bro. Moving on. Tomorrow's supposed to be Black Monday. We're talking about head coaching changes.
Yeah.
Well, there's two guys who we were talking about a couple of weeks ago who are looking like they're going to be nice and comfortable where they're at. We're talking about Mike McCarthy and Antonio Pierce. Both of these guys seem to have been given the green lights by their owners. Now we know Mike McCarthy wants, he has 9 days after the season ends tomorrow to renegotiate his contract before he can talk to other teams. So he has options. Antonio Pierce is under contract. Right now, it looks like the Raiders want him back. So I don't expect any one of these two guys to go anywhere. So we won't be hearing those names on the firings tomorrow. However, there are some guys that aren't safe. And as a matter of fact, there's a couple of guys who are already gone. All right, if you're talking about yesterday's game with the Browns and the Ravens, you're talking about Ken Dorsey already gone, as well as their online coach. They already fired those guys as of this morning. So Ken Dorsey back on the market again, folks. That's right. The guy that got fired in Buffalo as an OC got another chance in Cleveland. Now he's out again. All right, listen. It happens. There's got to be shakeups on the staff. Stefanski will be back. Watson will be back. Much to the chagrin of a lot of people that didn't like it the money he got. Guess what? He'll be right back in Cleveland Brown colors next year. So nevertheless, Ken Dorsey won't be coming back with him. He was supposed to come in and revolutionize the offense. They felt that didn't happen. The O-line coach out of here too. So nevertheless, there's a couple of guys who were ready, found the unemployment line in Cleveland.
Well, I think we should go back to Ezekiel Elliott here because I just want to hear a quick cap of everyone. What you think his future looks like? Just a quick rapid fire. I'm gonna start with Jeff.
Well, there's a certain thing that you don't want to put out is when you're going to be a free agent. It's called bad tape. There's no good tape on Ezekiel Elliott this year. You may have gotten a carry or two where you've seen a little bit of burst, but for the most part, you've seen what you've seen the past couple of years. A guy who lacks that burst that he had coming into the league, that he had at the prime of his career, the guy who doesn't break big runs, the guy who's not breaking that first tackle much anymore, the guy who's on the downside of his career. He's going to get very little offers, and the offers he's going to get are going to be low ball offers because teams don't feel he's a major contributor anymore. It is what it is. This happens to running backs. This is why they don't like to pay them. Okay? He got paid. He couldn't get to the third contract. All right? Unfortunately, that happens. Nevertheless, he's had an excellent career. There's no need to knock the player. The player Ezekiel Elliott was a very good player. It just so happens that he ran his course, and he just has to accept that. I am not that guy anymore.
Dan or Joe?
Oh, I think he's done. I think his time in the NFL is done with. I think that if I'm him, I'm thinking post-career, what can I do, whether it's coaching, broadcasting, taking time off and enjoying life. I think that when you go back to his Ohio State days and what he did with the Cowboys during his heyday, you made a boatload of money. Hopefully you were smart with it. You have a lot of accolades you can attach to your name as far as your football legacy. But yeah, I kind of think his time is done unless he's willing to accept a role of being a spot guy for another team in the NFL. But if I was him, I'd be thinking about my secondary career. What's the second act look like for Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah, it's a tough look out there, especially when you see how well it was when he first came. All right, Dan, I'll let you close it out.
Well, contrary to what these two guys believe, I believe Zeke, there is a chance for him to be something in the NFL next year, for him to get a contract. If he wants to switch and play fullback, he has every opportunity to do that. That's probably the only position that he can play at this point. As far as running back goes, he's not going to be able to do that. So if Zeke wants to extend his career, maybe he can play fullback. Maybe he can pick up some blocks. He's always been a decent blocker. You know what I'm saying? He's lost his step, of course, in speed and things like that. Maybe you can throw him in there on some, fourth down and ones or whatever you want to do, or, tush push. Maybe he can run up there and push somebody from the back. Those are the things that Zeke can do. If it's not that, then he's not going to be in the NFL. It is what it is. And you don't see that often. I'm being facetious and joking a little bit here, but at the end of the day, his career is done. He's had an outstanding career. Zeke was that guy for a good 3-4 years. He was a beast. He was a monster. He was like the top running back in the league, in my opinion. Produced a lot of fantasy points, produced a lot of yards, produced touchdowns. So you can't take away from his career. It's just age and attrition, man. Father Time catches it up to everybody. Zeke is 29 years old. He lasted longer than Todd Gurley. You might put it like that. Gurley was out of the league when he was 26. So that's what happens with running backs. They get beat up. They get smashed. Guys hit your legs, and it takes a lot out of them. So at the end of the day, outstanding career. You wish that he had some more success when it comes to the playoffs and maybe, being in conversation for Super Bowls and things like that. But, he was with the Dallas Cowboys, and we know that Cowboys do Cowboy things when it comes to the playoff time. So it is what it is. Outstanding career. You applaud him for it, and you move on, Zook, man. Have a good second life after football, you might say.
You had to throw in that little Cowboys dad.
Just a little bit, man. That's for Greg, and that's for Jeff. Just a little jab.
Mainly Greg.
The comment from Julio was great. He'll be doing Salvation Army commercials.
I mean, he was haunting my dreams back in the day when I went to that Oregon game. I mean, literally, I saw him on the field and thought this guy is going to absolutely demolish the NFL. And he came in and did just that and haunted me forever.
Yeah.
So.
The average life of an NFL running back is 3.5 years. He's exceeded that. He had more success in 3.5 years than most runners do. So there's nothing wrong with the career that he's had. Unfortunately, the style of runner he is, they take a lot of punishment and they burn out faster. And it happened. And once you realize, I realized, the back end of my career that I lost a step. I wasn't the corner I was anymore. And it was time to say, hey, either I'm going to start becoming a nickel or a safety, or I'm going to retire. And I said, I choose retirement over changing positions. So some people will do the right thing. Some people will let it lag on. I know guys that I played with that played on many years past their prime, and they were not the same player. And I hope that, he understands that I'm not that guy anymore, despite the fact that he looks good in drills. A lot of people always show those videos of him doing all the footwork drills. Footwork drills are one thing. When you're on the field and you can't get away from defenders, it tells the sign. The tape always matters.
Yeah. Like you said, you put out bad tape, man. When you put out bad tape, it's no coming back from that, you might say, right? It's there. It's there. Everybody sees it. Every team will see it. And once that tape is out there, man, you can't pull it back. So, that's something that a lot of players, even young players, have to focus on, man. Don't put out bad tape, bro. It'll mess you up in the long run.
It's like what they say, everything is on the internet forever. All right, we're going to roll into our girl, Christy Love, giving us her Week 8 parlays. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to roll into the NFC North, the battle of the day we're all waiting for.
What's up, y'all? It is Week 18 of the NFL season. I cannot believe the season went by so fast. Here goes another parlay. Let's go. My first pick is Baker Mayfield getting 258 rushing yards. He's gotten this out of his last 3-4 games. He's gotten over 288, so this should be an easy lock against New Orleans. Next, we have Jared Goff for 2 passing touchdowns. He's gotten this out of his last 5 games. Detroit is like that, so that's an easy lock. DK Metcalf, I have him for less than 5 receptions. Out of his last 7 games, he only gotten over 5 once. So this should be an easy lock against the Rams. I got Jordan Addison for 6 receptions. He should get this against the Lions. It's going to be a great game. Both are fighting for the top seed in the NFC North. Then Jane Daniels for 2 passing touchdowns and Jamar Gibbs for 90 rushing yards. So all these picks should hit today. Use promo code Team NBS to get your free money. Bye.
You are watching Team NBS Media. We are a digital media brand covering sports, entertainment, and lifestyle, with team members all across the country. Through our written content, podcasts, and video content, we bring you fresh and professional content. Interested in joining the team? Shoot us an email or DM. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Moving the Chains here on Team NBS Media. Christy Love is giving you free money. Please take it. She always calls herself out when she's wrong, and she only did that once, and we are at week 18. So take those parlays up. It's time to talk about the biggest game we've seen ever in the regular season, which is crazy to say at week 18. We'll have 2 teams that will have same records. One gets the first spot and the bye week, and the other team gets the 5th spot and a wild card placement. It just doesn't make any sense to me because that's crazy. The NFC North has been outrageous. It's been one of the best divisions. Sorry. Dan, but the rest of the team has been great. All 3 of them have been fantastic. So I'm going to take it away with Dan first. This is a safe space, as I always say to the Cowboys fans, so you can hit the highs and lows, include your team or not, but just want to hear about your thoughts when it comes to this division.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all guys have seen it, but there's a meme that goes out, right? And it's like it's got the different dragons or whatever. So you got 1 dragon, 2 dragon, 3 dragon. They're all powerful and mean looking, and then you got the bears there sitting there and they're like looking crazy. So you know what I mean, we've seen that. We've been dealing with it all year long, man. It's pretty embarrassing, but this game is going to be excellent, man. I look forward to it. It's Sunday Night Football. You gotta both teams 14-2. Both teams are really, I think Minnesota's achieving. They're going above what people predicted. Everybody knew the Lions were a pretty good team to begin this season. To be 14-2 though, outstanding. And some of the games that they've been winning, they're putting up points where they were beating people by 40 and 50 points and things like that. So it's been an outstanding game for them, or outstanding season. With Minnesota, man, it's interesting to see them in this position because nobody saw it coming, right? You didn't see Sam Darnold taking off the way he has, and really everybody gravitating towards him the way that they have in that locker room. It's pretty cool to see, to see a little bit of a resurgence in his career, which is cool. I'm not a fan of either team, of course. I wish it could end in a tie somehow, some way, or both teams lose even. That would be great. But you know what I mean? We can't have that happen, so we'll see what happens. Somebody has to win the division. So I think Detroit will. They're at home. The funny thing about this situation, though, is I was looking at some stuff yesterday, and Minnesota, I got to give them credit. Their organization, their franchise, the ownership, they spent like $2 million buying up tickets in Detroit, and then giving them to their season ticket holders at a real steep discount, right? Almost free practically. And I think that's pretty awesome, man, because you're really letting you're trying to sway the crowd noise and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? That's a team, and that's an ownership group that's willing to do whatever. Detroit reported it as well, and the NFL said, hey, there's nothing wrong. They didn't do anything wrong, so it is what it is. So for that point, I'm glad to see somebody doing stuff like that. The Bears ownership would never do nothing like that, unfortunately. But I mean, it's cool to see that, man. It really is. They spent their own money, $2 million, probably took losses, and gave these tickets away so that not only their team could have some more of their fans in the building, but it could also limit what Detroit's able to do with that crowd noise. So that's pretty dope, I think. That's pretty awesome.
Here, I brought it up for you.
That's it. Yeah.
I never even seen it before. That's
terrible.
Well,
You never saw the King Ghidorah head?
It's terrible. It's
I've seen
terrible.
the meme, but not with the Bears included. That's pretty funny.
It's funny that the Vikings are like the kooky one. Like,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, you get the honors of speaking for the Vikings' behalf here. So you're the Sam Darnold stan of Team NBS Media. What is he doing right? What are they going to do in this matchup? It's a big game. I think you're taking it as it's week one. Season's just starting, and you're going to get your spot.
Well, it's all on the line, right? So we talk about it. This is the big moment that everybody wants to see Sam Darnold perform in. We've seen him perform all season long. We've seen him go out there and play according to plan for the most part. But this is the game where you want to see Sam Darnold make the difference, right? We've seen Jared Goff make the difference for Detroit. Now's the chance. Everybody, listen, it was a feel-good story watching them celebrate with him last week after that big win. But if he goes out there and plays like a pumpkin today, guess what? There's going to be a lot of questions again after today. All right, so it's always the love when all things are going right. But this is that big matchup that's going to be the measuring stick. Trust me, ownership's going to be watching, because if he goes out there and doesn't perform at the standard today, they will definitely be looking at that for next year when it comes time to sign him. And he wants that hefty starter price tag starting at $40 million. They're going to go, whoa. What happened that last game when everything was on the line and you went out there and laid an egg? So there is a lot on the line, not just a division, but his future depends on today. How much money he makes next year depends on today. So there's going to be a lot. Again, he's going to get a hefty contract, whether it's with the Vikings or somebody else. The question is, will it be the top dollar that he wants? Will it be the long-term opportunity that he wants? It's going to be answered today.
It's like that article that came out today, like all these other players depend on their money payouts, and the same is true here. So, Joe, you get the other side of the ball. Detroit's at home. We know Goff is great in the dome. I don't know how they've gotten all these major games in domes. I feel like that's been like the luckiest season for Jared Goff to have success. There's only Jahmyr Gibbs, still Amon St. Brown. There's so many offensive weapons. What is like your favorite part of this Lions offense?
My favorite part of the offense definitely has to be the player, Jared Goff. I mean, this is a guy that, remember, you went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, you lost, and I felt like a week later just tossed to the side, not good enough, get out of here. You go to Detroit, and people are thinking, oh my God, Detroit, what a wasteland. They haven't been good since Barry Sanders. Herman Moore doesn't play for the Lions anymore. And you go out there, and you're balling. And I think he's stepped up time and time again. I think that the same opportunity that Sam Darnold has today to show people what you can do, Jared Goff has had that opportunity last year, leading the Lions to the NFC Championship game. And even I thought, feel-good story. I'm not sure if they can do it again this year. They've shut me up really quick. We have a matchup with the two most combined wins in the history of the NFL going on tonight. So I think for me, the favorite part of the offense for the Lions has definitely been Jared Goff, his play. Guys have gone down with injury. They just plug and play somebody else in there, and Goff has just been really, really steady. He's had some oh my God moments. We're not going to forget the 5-interception game, I know, that we brought up, but they still won because they're a good team. The roster construction from top to bottom has been really good. But if somebody asks me what my favorite part of the offense is, it's just been Jared Goff. I'll never forget that. My man lost Super Bowl on a Sunday, and on Thursday, people were like, yeah, you're not good enough. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is his time. I think he's really showed up and showed out this season, except for that 5-interception game, which he still ended up winning. That's crazy. If you were on Thomas's roundtable show, you knew that was stinky. He did not like that. We were putting them so high. All right, Dan, just classic football matchup here. I think it's like one of the best. So I want to hear your predictions on what you think this will look like, and you can have either side of the ball.
Detroit versus the Vikings. I think it's going to be a good game. I think both teams have got a lot to play for. You know, of course, you playing for the division. It's a rivalry. There's so much to play for, right? Is it going to be a runaway for the Lions? The Lions, man, in that building is crazy. I've been in that building. It's loud. The fans are engaged fully. It's outstanding. So, you know, when he's at home and he's playing in front of his home crowd, Jared Goff is outstanding. He's good. You're going to be missing David Montgomery possibly. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. He's doing his thing, of course. They got so many weapons all over the field, tight ends, wide receivers, all kinds of stuff. And then defensively, a lot of people thought that they were going to fall apart defensively. I think that defensively, you got to give them credit for what they've done. Of course, they've given up some more points and things like that in recent weeks, but for the most part, they've stayed fully engaged. And Brian Branch, and I say it all the time, Brian Branch, Kobe Joseph, those guys are probably the best little safety tandem in the league, in my opinion. I mean, they handle their business on the back end. So, that team is good. It's going to be a nice matchup to see what Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are able to do against that secondary, especially with a limited pass rush. Even though Detroit does have some pieces and some things that they can bring to the table, I think Detroit is going to get this game, though. I really do. I think Minnesota is going to ball and try to do their best, but they're going to fall up. They're going to fall short, and I think something's going to show some type of problem with Minnesota, and it's going to kind of signal the end to their little 14-2 situation they have going on. It was a nice run, but they're going to be exposed, and somebody's going to take advantage of it next week when it comes to the playoff time as well.
So this could either be a huge offensive game, or it could be like the defenses are going in, it's field goal after field goal, and nobody gets hot. So I want to hear, Jeff, what are your predictions? How do you think this is going to look?
It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be one of those games we're going to enjoy watching all the way down to the wire. The team that makes the biggest mistake in the fourth quarter is going to be the team that loses. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. You're going to have two teams here that both like to run the football, both like to take the pressure off their quarterback, don't want them making all the throws down the field, but they trust one more than the other. I think the main focus is, though, the turnover. The late turnover is going to be the big key. It could be a team, it could be one of these teams that's trailing late in the game, gets the big turnover, and goes ahead. It could be the team that's on that final drive to take the lead and turns the ball over. So I think that's what we're talking about, is who's going to make that crucial mistake down the stretch of a very close game.
Okay. Joe, any round outs?
I'm just excited for the game. I think it's going to be a good one. I think that this is a chance for, it's a chance for a lot of things. We talked about Black Monday. I think Aaron Glenn's a hot name when it comes to coaching candidates. And I think if you can lose a guy like Hutch and still keep your defense engaged and still be able to hold people at bay and get the job done, it's only going to help his resume. I think this is an explosive Minnesota Vikings offense. They're going up against weapons all around the place. So I think it's a chance for Aaron Glenn to really show people that, hey, I am that dude when it comes to coaching defense, and I can be a good leader for your franchise. On the flip side, I think we've been talking about it all season long. For Sam Darnold, especially people like me who have been a hater of Sam Darnold since he came into the league, underperformed, shut us up, man. And this is a chance for you to show everybody that, hey, biggest stage, biggest game of my career in the NFL. Not only did I win, but I balled out and showed everybody that I can lead this team to the promised land, because like I said, so many different weapons. It's not just Justin Jefferson. There's other guys on Minnesota that can catch a ball, make you miss a tackle, and take it to the house. So I think for Sam Darnold, and on the road too, come on, man. This is the chance for him to really cement himself as I'm that guy. Don't worry about what you saw in San Francisco, what you saw in Carolina, and God, remember the Jets. What you see now is the player I am.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be obviously the most difficult game to pick when we hit our rapid fire. But before we get to that, we all selected our favorite moments from this season. So we're going to talk about our favorite moments and see, what was good, the bad, and the ugly. So please, Jeff.
So why don't we individually tell which ones, describe our favorite moment. I'll cue it up for you, by all means. Who wants to go first?
I'll get it over with.
Okay.
Over with.
For me, it was easy, man. It had to be the Commanders at home, beating the Chicago Bears, that Hail Mary pass. We talked about before, this is a franchise that's been beaten down for decades and new ownership. So last year was the honeymoon. Oh my God, we got a new owner. We have Magic Johnson included in the ownership group. They're going to turn things around. They even made a lot of adjustments and additions to the stadium as they're looking for a new stadium. We started off this season with that loss to Tampa Bay. And then to have this game go the way it went, man, I mean, I just remember friends calling me, putting their phone in the air at the stadium, just hearing the energy that was in there. This was the game that let me know that we're back on the map. We already had a winning record coming into this game, but still to win that game in this fashion on the road with a brand new rookie quarterback. I mean, it literally, if you could say, when did you know the Commanders were back to being a legit NFL franchise? For me, this is the play that let me know that we're on our way to being where we need to be, which is successful. Sorry, Dan.
Man. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. That was outstanding. That was a great play. It was ironically your play gave you hope, and my play dashed every bit of hope we had, and we haven't won a game since then.
Good segue.
Well, that sounds like it's Dan's cue to go.
That was a great segue, man.
Go for it, Dan.
Yeah, we haven't won a game since then. And I was one of the people that said, hey, we could possibly win 2 games. I thought we might be able to beat the Seahawks, and we might be able to sneak up on like the 49ers or something like that. But the Bears have dropped 10, 11 straight games, whatever it is. They're probably going to drop another one tonight, hopefully. It is what it is. But my point, my moment that you might say is going to be in Detroit, when we went into Detroit and ran the clock out. The last 36 seconds of the clock, took a sack, got to the line of scrimmage, didn't hike the ball, just waited around, trying to figure things out, trying to calm people down. Coach stood there on the sideline, saw a frantic rookie quarterback waving and doing all kinds of things, stood there and just watched, let the clock tick, 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 tick. I think they hiked the ball at around 6 seconds or something like that. I'm in the stands, by the way, screaming at the top of my lungs, like, hike the ball, do something, you know what I mean? Whatever. You have a timeout in tow as well. I don't know what they were doing. I have no idea what they were doing. And I say it's good, it's bad, and it's ugly, right? You said the good, the bad, or the ugly. It's all 3, because it's good, because it sealed his fate right there. Matt Eberflus is sealed his fate, and he was fired the very next morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. He was let go. He was up out of there, which was good. It was bad because this is not the first time he's done it. It was bad because he's done this and made this mistake several times over, dating back to last year where we lost 3 games. We lost a game in Detroit where we were up by 12 with 3 minutes to go, and we lost that game, gave up 2 touchdowns to end that game. So this has been an ongoing thing. That's why it's bad. And it's even uglier because just a couple weeks ago and last week, the Bears essentially did the same thing, ran the clock out at the end of the game with the interim coach, Thomas Brown. You know what I mean? So it's good, it's bad, it's ugly because it continues to happen, even when we got rid of the coach that was allowing it.
I think that the face right there told you everything, right? We talked about this when it happened. We talked about it when he got fired. But that right there, the facial expression showed you. It was the whole 30 seconds was that. Okay? Look up at the scoreboard. Look at it.
He's like super lost.
I don't understand.
He's overwhelmed. He was
As
overwhelmed.
a head coach, in several of these situations, you should be getting better, not worse. And he seemed to get worse in every tight situation. And this was the epitome of it, where you have a timeout in your back pocket. You're watching the disarray, and you're going.
I've never seen nothing like it, man.
I couldn't defend him anymore.
Jeff, it's not even just that. It's not even just that, right? The previous plays before that, the Bears had gotten down to like the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
Then Tevin Jenkins had his stupid hands to the face penalty, backed you up 15 yards. You then took a sack. And you still didn't talk. So you had several plays where you made mistake. Regroup, bro. Call the timeout. Regroup your guys. And he's just lost.
What were the assistant coaches to grab him by the arm and say, "What the hell are you doing? Like, wake up!" or screaming his headset or something?
Somebody should have went in his face. Like,
yeah.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Something.
Obviously, they followed the leader, right? So there's no assistant coach yelling in his ear, "Timeout! Timeout! Timeout!" I can tell you plenty of times I'm in the booth, I'm talking to the guys on the sideline, call timeout, get them lined up. That's the point of having the guy up there, is to give you information. And if you're not hearing it, if they're not giving it to you, then it's a whole staff problem. It's not just the one guy. It's
like the Washington game, right? Joe's greatest moment, right? The Washington game, you had Tyreek Stevenson that was not paying attention. He was actually jaw-jacking with the crowd, right? Yeah. And Jeff, like I was saying, okay, it's not only on Tyreek Stevenson. How come nobody, once again, we had a timeout in that situation. How come nobody said, call a timeout and get Tyreek Stevenson off the field? If that's the case. You see what I'm saying? But then you turn around and you say, hey, I want to hold Tyreek Stevenson accountable. That's what the narrative was the following week. That's why he's not a coach there anymore. And I'm glad for it. I'm happy. The good, the bad, the ugly.
I think it was you're right. I was going to say, I think if he wasn't fired, because we all watched that game and thought, all right, this has got to be the end. So my favorite moment is very cliche, because if you watch any of our shows, you know that I'm never picking the Chiefs ever in my life. So I obviously picked their one loss of the year because they still lost. Okay. And that's all there is to it. I needed to pick a moment that made me feel complete joy. And it wasn't Shakir getting hurt here. It was just the score of Kansas City not being able to come back. So I think it's a very, the best one is obviously Jaden Daniels' Hail Mary, honestly. That was like one of the most electric moments in the NFL. But this one felt good because it just proved that the Bills are doing well. Josh Allen is still absolutely dealing. And I think that when they face off again in the playoffs, we're going to see something similar of this, where he's just putting the game on his back. And it just feels like a true Josh Allen game to lead his team to victory and maybe go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I'm not going to put the jinx on them, but that's just what I'm hoping. Any other team in the AFC that's not in the red color.
I like that. I like that one.
Yeah.
Well,
and that run by Josh Allen was crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
It was. It was. Listen, we've had some crazy finishes that we've talked about already. Listen, there was nothing crazier than this finish right here. We had seen a team go up, magical Hail Marys in last seconds. Well, that almost happened again with Washington in Washington, except for this play right here. And that's Kavontae Turpin, 99 yards to the house to seal it for the Cowboys. This game, I thought the Cowboys were going to blow this. It was over. Like Washington was going to get another shot at this. And then he did this. And this was a straight Madden move. You hit the spin button, and dude spins out of trouble and goes to – no, this was an amazing play. I ain't seen this anywhere, okay? And I've seen some amazing kick returns. Dante Hall didn't pull moves like this one out. And where he literally spins out of three dudes. That's unheard of. So, yeah, this had to go on my favorite plays, just not because it's the Cowboys, but because I ain't never seen a spin move that hard in my life.
That was tough.
It went through his hands, too. Like, you thought the ball was going to be – somebody else was going to tackle him and get into the end zone. So –
that was tough.
No, got to give credit where credit's due. It's spectacular. I don't think I even cheer. I definitely didn't cheer. I don't think I said anything. Just had jaw open. It was like I was hoping for some kind of flag. I was waiting for the flag graphic to pop up. Even when they did the extra point, I was still waiting. Like, are they challenging this? Is there a flag? Nope.
Obviously, you weren't going to cheer for that. That was like the turning point of the game.
Listen, like I said, when they threw that pass to McLaren and he took off.
Yep.
I said, okay, they're going to blow this game. It's over, right? Washington's going to have another epic comeback. And then that happened, and I fell out of my chair. I said, I ain't never seen a spin that hard in my life.
Yeah.
And I've seen some dudes spun out of their ankles. Never have I seen a dude spin out of a crowd like that and then take it to the house.
Yeah, so, and once he finished that spin move, it was like speed burst button. He was gone.
Yeah.
No one was touching him.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about that spin move is nobody even got a touch, and nobody put their hand on him. Nobody even touched him. So he was able to spin out of the three guys basically and take off, and nobody, hit the gap, and nobody touched him. It's crazy.
Cowboys made things exciting this season. All right, we're going to roll into our rapid fire picks, which we know is everybody's favorite part of the show. So let's take it away, Meister Jeff.
All right. So we had a little tightening up so far in the standings. All right. So
you picked the Steelers yesterday.
Well, before we even get to that, you did close a game last week. So you were 3 games down going into yesterday. You're only two games down now with me lone wolfing on the Steelers and they blowing dog yesterday. So therefore, I haven't seen a Steelers team suck so bad since 1989. But
yeah, anyway, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was horrible. Nevertheless, you are literally now, thanks to yesterday, just 2 games back, not 3 as it shows here. You know, by margin of victory, there you get the close within 2 games now. So the pressure is all on you, Ashmere. Can you get it done today? Because you are within striking distance.
Well, let's just say, don't put your eggs on the Tennessee Titans, everybody, because that's what I did.
11-2. Well, great second half of the season for myself. I'm proud.
Yeah. Real round of applause for Joe. He made a 14-game win week and just brought him around.
Man, that's crazy.
Got to stop picking.
There was a point in time
with your heart, man. Pick with your
Joe,
football brain.
you were, it was rough, brother. It was rough.
You can be honest. I remember.
Yeah.
I hated this segment when we first started the season.
But nevertheless, like I said, I'm proud of our team, man. You look at the standings, everybody's well above 500, picking games, you know, and we may not all be within striking distance of first place, but overall, we've got some great records, some great picks on there, and it shows overall. So today, we're going to start it off with Carolina at Atlanta. And people will go, well, that game doesn't matter. It matters to Atlanta because they need to win this and they need a Tampa Bay loss to get into the playoffs.
I'm going to pick Hot Atlanta here because I think Michael Penix can probably get the ball out quicker, hopefully.
Well, Greg is going Panthers.
Wow.
I'm going Atlanta as well. I think they put the pressure on the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm going to go Atlanta. As much as I've enjoyed watching Bryce Young's resurgence these last couple of games, I'm not jumping out the window like that.
The other half of that equation, Saints at Tampa Bay.
Oh, what's Dan's? I'm going to keep them.
I'll go Atlanta on that one too.
All right.
Yes. Sorry, Dan. Forgot to get yours. The guests, we always got to get the guest pick in there. Next year, we will be tracking those. By the way.
Yeah. We'll just have a guest tally. You guys are all dependent on each other.
Yes.
Gotcha.
All right. So Tampa Bay hosting the Saints. Once again, Tampa Bay wins. They're in. They lose. They need Atlanta to lose to hold on to the division.
Yeah, I'm picking, obviously, Tampa.
I knew you'd say that.
Duh.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield woke up feeling dangerous. We'll go Bucs.
Backs to the wall. You got to go Bucs. Greg says Tampa Bay easily, so we're all on the Tampa Bay train there.
Yeah, I take Tampa Bay as well in that one.
Into the season with a rivalry, Washington at Dallas. Washington already in, Dallas already out.
Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
Yeah, this is a nice revenge game.
Yeah. If he spins and runs back on today, I'm going to stop watching. I don't care what quarter it's in. I'm done.
You said the Commanders, Asheville?
I'm hitting the Commanders all day.
Okay. Trey Lance throws 6 TDs in his first start since he played week 2 in 2022. He throws 4 pick sixes, and the Commanders win. Interesting way to say that Commanders win, Greg, but okay.
We have a lot of descriptive play-by-plays in the comments today.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going Commanders. Yes, they want to win on going out on a high note. They're not resting guys. Dallas doesn't have too many guys to rest. So therefore, give me the Commanders. All right.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
that was long.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I'm gonna just do it.
Read up like a big high face emoji.
Do we have the Snagglepuss Wolf ready to go?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Lone Wolf?
I just didn't think anybody was gonna do it. I wasn't ready.
Okay, Dan. That's how you introduce yourself to the pick segment right there.
All right. So Chicago at Green Bay, -1 Eberflus.
It's Green Bay. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta go Packers. This would be a huge upset.
They could only dream of such a thing at this point of the season.
Dum, 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 dum. Go, Pat, go.
Go, Pat, go. Oh, my goodness. What's Greg say?
He said
Greg
Green
goes
Bay.
Green Bay.
Let me get that wolf call again. Let me get it.
Okay.
I'm going Chicago. I'm going Chicago.
Okay.
The first win for Caleb Williams against this bum squad called the Green Bay Packers.
That's going down with the shit, Dan. I love you. I love you.
I know. I'm like, you won't catch me picking the Raiders when it comes to the standings.
Greg said he lone wolfed on the Bears too many times. I did that early in the season too. So every time I picked you guys, you lost. Every time I picked against you, you won. So then all of that started going away once the Eberflus was out there. It was just easy to pick you to lose. So moving on. Now, here's a tongue twister for everybody.
Oh, my favorite matchup.
Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Indianapolis could have been playing for the division today, but since they went out there in Blue Dog versus the New York Football Giants, they are now eliminated. So
Yeah, that was tough.
yeah, so therefore, it's them and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guess who I'm not picking? There'll be no Jacksonville in my future. I'll take the Colts.
Yeah.
And Greg is taking the Colts as well. He said, and he's making a prediction that he's saying is not a spoiler. It's a prediction. It's a prediction, not a spoiler. It's a spoiler, not a prediction. He's saying Peterson gets fired tomorrow.
Wow.
I think it gets fired if they win or lose. I'm going to go the Colts.
I just feel like Brian Thomas Jr. is too good. And Mac Jones and him are like vibing. I don't know. This feels crazy. Since they're at home, I'll pick the Colts.
Yeah.
But
You know,
that's
the Colts knew they should not have lost last week, so I think they're going to go out on a high note, especially against a division opponent.
Jacksonville's the worst job in the NFL. Probably the least attractive head coaching job in the NFL. I'm going Indianapolis as well.
Okay. Unanimous.
You think it's the least attractive job in the league?
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, because you got to factor in ownership. Yeah, you got to factor in everything. You know, not just what they have talent wise, Trevor Lawrence or whatever, but you got to factor in everything.
Okay.
Bad. It's ugly.
He's like, I don't want to live in Jacksonville.
That part I understand.
All right, we're all going Bills. If you say otherwise, you're lying.
Yeah, this is unanimous. We're going Bills. Come on now. Who's going to jump out that's not jumping out the window. That's
let's talk about it here. Buffalo has nothing to play for here. All right, they've already clinched everything. They can't get the first overall seed anymore. Okay, so their seeding doesn't really matter. Do they rest guys today? Did the Patriots take advantage of that? Greg says Patriots.
Jeez Louise.
See, that's the rub. Week 18, you got to pay attention to those details.
I don't care. Buffalo Bills.
I mean, I don't want Gerard Mayo to lose his job, but I
don't think he's going to lose his job after one season. That's crazy.
He's not.
I literally just got an alert saying they're leaning towards it.
Wow.
I just think that's absurd.
That would be yeah.
Bob Kraft isn't firing. I think there's a lot of reports out there, but he brought him in and said the whole purpose of bringing him in said we're going to be staying the course on this, giving him a chance to grow and this team to grow under his leadership. I don't think you fire him at this point. You just got a quarterback that you start to believe in. And now you fire the guy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unlike David Tepper, he has a little more common sense. So,
shots fired. We're never getting media credentials for the Panthers. What do you mean we talked bad about you?
My job is to report the facts, and the facts say you don't have any common sense when you fire a head coach midway through his first season. That's not a common sense.
He does work for us. That's true.
I'm going Bills. I think the Bills pull it out, although I think the Patriots aren't going to make it easy.
Yeah, I got the Bills as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Same.
So, Lone Wolf, Greg.
Yep.
Somebody the Lone Wolves have been working out recently, so he's feeling good about himself.
I was adding this for Jeff.
Unlike
you need to add the Gary Coleman one. Here we go. It's about I'm a foot taller. Here we go.
Yeah, a little bit.
New York Football Giants at Philadelphia. Giants seem to beat them at times at the end of the season, especially last year. And still cutlets. Hey.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to Philly.
Oh no! Did you see that inactive list for the Eagles? They have like 29 people not playing.
Yeah, but
and Drew Lock and Neighbors. I think
I could sack.
I forgot
Mr.
what
Cutlet.
Podcast.
I could sack him.
What podcast listening to? They said that Drew Lock and Neighbors look like Montana and Rice.
What?
I was dying. Man, the Giants burned me those 2 weeks back to back. I'm still angry. I'm gonna go fly, Eagles fly.
I just think if the Giants were smart, they would use this as a loss so they could stay up in the draft rankings. But who do I know? The Raiders didn't even care.
Yeah,
they got Tom Brady.
Even with the Eagles sitting guys, I still can't pick the Giants. I don't trust them.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Even with the backups, I don't trust them. Here we go.
I got the Philadelphia as well. That's crazy. Yeah.
So here we go. Houston at Tennessee, a game that would have meant a lot more. Now it's more about how much mayo will be involved in this game. So here we go. I think Houston's another one who's sitting guys because there's nothing to play for. You wrapped up the division thanks to Indianapolis losing last week. So, with that being said, I'm still not picking the Tennessee Titans. I'm going Houston.
Same. I'm going Houston Texans. I was like, if this guy picks the Titans, Mason Rudolph.
The Titans absolutely cooked them earlier in the season, okay? We cannot forget. That should have been my favorite moment. It's kind of crazy. But I just need to ask, is CJ Stroud playing or not? Did I miss that?
I'm not sure either, actually.
Well, they're a late window game, so their inactives are not yet. No.
Okay, I'm like, it says he's obviously healthy. I'm still going to stick to the Texans, but if the Titans do me wrong like this, I'm be mad.
You said the Texans or the Titans?
The Texans. Houston.
Yeah, okay. he's playing. Okay. They released their inactives. He's
okay.
Yeah, it got to be Houston.
Okay, now we know there definitely are inactives for Kansas City versus Denver.
Give me the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to go Broncos. I think that Bo Nix and those guys give the home crowd something to cheer about, end the season on a high note, and their defense has been playing really, really good.
I think we all have a unanimous Broncos to go to the playoffs.
Well, I don't know. Dan could be throwing a wrench in here.
Yes.
I'm thinking about it, too.
He's
what a debut from Dan. I like it.
You know what? Because, I'm give me that lone wolf again. I'm going Kansas City.
Okay.
Sean Payton is going to be exposed today. He didn't have his team ready. I gotta run with that narrative.
He believes in Carson Wentz.
We need a playoff wolf call. I gotta find out.
Yeah, we'll get a better one. We'll be back, guys, with a better one.
We need an adult wolf.
Okay, the stick a fork in them bowl. San Francisco and Arizona.
Stick a fork in the bowl. So personal with your picks, Greg.
No Brock Purdy.
So personal.
Like, what's the point,
This is kind of tough.
Dan needs a hug.
Yeah, we're going to go Cardinals. I think Kyler Murray shows us something. That's a guy who might be on the biggest hot seat of any quarterback in the NFL when the season's over.
I'm letting
It
Jeff
looked
go
like it
first.
was over for him last week or whatever.
Marvin Harrison, not involved enough. That's my top 3 most important off seasons right there.
I'm going Cards.
Wow.
I'm going Cardinals.
You're telling me I'm going to maybe lone wolf on the Niners? Are they not good enough? I'm confused.
Not this year, in my opinion.
They couldn't win without Purdy earlier in the season. They're definitely not going to win now. They're basically mailing it in.
All right. Take the
You let me
Niners
talk
out.
you into going against me, huh?
Take the Niners out of there.
They're going to win by 21. She's going to blow up our chat. Thanks, guys.
I should have never listened to Jeff. I'll tell you that.
I've been saying it week after week.
I'm going to go with a couple of Matlock hot dogs because I can just keep selling the jury.
Wow. What a reference.
All right, Dan, are you lone wolfing?
No, I'm gonna go with the Cardinals on this one as well. I got to
He
ride.
joins the fold. All right. So speaking of birds, Seahawks, Rams. Rams are sitting guys because they have nothing to play for. Seahawks are done for the most part. So this is just bragging rights.
Just because I'm a big Sean McVay fan, I'm going to go Rams.
I don't even know if Seattle could beat this team with everyone. So I'm going to pick the Rams too.
Rams resting too many guys. He's going with the Seahawks.
Finally,
Greg.
a non-personal pick for Greg.
Christy Love's parlay had DK Metcalf with under 2.5 receptions or something. So that's where I was getting that. That's why I'm picking the Rams.
Greg, I wish I could trust the Seahawks, but I can't. They have. Whew,
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why you can't trust the Seahawks. They beat us 6-3.
Yeah, that was.
Also, all the evidence you need. Tape don't
That's
lie.
all the evidence. That's it.
Don't put out
So
bad
that
tape.
means we're picking the Rams too.
I'm picking
Don't
the Rams.
put out bad tape.
This is
Raiders
Gregory.
versus the Fighting Harbaugh.
Oh my god. Well, if the Raiders knew what was good for them, they would lose.
I don't know. Chargers players, starters are playing, right? I don't see Jim Harbaugh sitting at anybody. If you can strap up, you're playing.
As far as I know, that Mike Davis has told Antonio Pierce, just win, baby. Don't worry about draft picks. So they're playing to win today, but I assume so are the Fighting Harbaughs. Okay, if you know the Harbaugh family, they don't take games off. His brother doesn't rest guys in preseason. So this is gonna be a game. This is gonna be a fight.
This is the one.
Okay.
This is the one I'll take the lead. Give me the Raiders.
Greg's with you.
That doesn't make me feel very good. He's been super iffy on those lone wolves.
I have to take the Chargers.
Smart.
I was
Yeah,
gonna roll over
it's
and ask where
I don't even know who's throwing the ball anymore. Amir Abdullah has been really good, but I just don't know what's happening.
Aiden O'Connell should be back.
That's terrible.
I
Remember
was
you
about
said
to
that.
lone wolf on the Chargers, and Ashmere went Chargers with me.
Yeah. Well, Dan,
Yeah, I got the Chargers too.
Yeah.
Okay, so three out of five. 3 out of 5.
We stand our ground, Greg.
Okay, somebody's got to root for my team. It's not me.
And I'll guarantee you, Steve Rogers is watching closely what we pick here, folks.
The chat's
Lions, Vikings, for the division, all the marbles. It's not win or go home because both of these teams are in the playoffs. But nevertheless, winner take all for the division. And the right to host in the first round.
Only because every time I've picked against them this year, I've lost. I want Detroit to win, but I'm going to pick Vikings.
Woo!
Every time I say Sam Darnold is going to have that game where we see the Sam Darnold of old, it never happens. So I'll try opposite, see what happens. I'll go Vikings.
I'm going Lions at home. I think they get it done at home.
I think the Detroit defense is like a hair better. So, yeah, I'm going to go Lions as well.
Oh, man. Steve's keeping receipts, people.
Uh-oh, Joe, you the lone wolf because I'm going Lions as well.
The baby wolf for the last time.
So we will know tonight, most likely, unless there's a tie, who your pick champion is for the regular season.
Try to lock in that third place. It was a hell of a run there for a while, Greg and I. Make a move.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Dan, for being here. We love having fans that are struggling together. We are all united here at Team NBS Media. You're not alone. So everyone have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games, last game of regular season. And we will, of course, be back with tons of playoff content, draft content, you name it. It'll be all over. So be sure to follow us on all your social platforms, and we will see you in the next weeks. Bye-bye.